to the fields. From the ice to the turf, we'll break it down. Discussing every win, every loss in town. We'll talk about the Canucks and the Lions. We are your irrational fans. We are your irrational fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 116 of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am your host, of course, Jake Hughes, alongside the old man. Old man, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. What a great day. Took off early in the morning, went out to Banff and spent the day out in Banff and Canmore, then came back, had a nap. I'm ready to go.
Well, I'm glad you had a nap because if people can't tell by my voice, it's a little rough. It's not up to 100% stuff.
So do I need to carry the show again?
I wouldn't say again, but it would be nice if you were able to, carry your weight at least.
That's a lot.
But I don't know how much of the show you're going to need to carry because we have a legendary voice joining us during the first part of the show here.
Legendary.
I was going to let you introduce the guest.
Oh, okay. We have Hall of Famer. 29 years he has been the voice of the Calgary Stampeders. None other than Mr. Mark Stephen. Mark, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, good. Just enjoying camp. We've had one game under the books, and now we're getting ready for the second. Just one of those quirks in the schedule where the Stampeders finish first. Somebody does it every year, and this year it's the Stampeders' turn.
Nice. So you played my beloved BC Lions on Monday. We all know the outcome of that one. What did you take away from that game?
Well, specifically from a Stampeder viewpoint, a few things to build on. I thought, had a pretty good ground game without their number 1 and 2 backs there. I think their return game was very good. They did a lot of things there and reason to be optimistic. One thing I really liked is they only took 6 penalties, and that's really good for any game, never mind a preseason game when you so often have, time counts and illegal procedures and all that kind of stuff because a lot of players are unfamiliar playing with each other. So that was really good. So I quite enjoyed that. I thought both punters, and there's a vacancy, were good, not great. And I don't think they really separated themselves from each other. So that's another battle still to go into the final game. But overall, a lot of good things, but it still was a preseason game.
Nice. Now, looking at training camp, we're week 2 in training camp now?
Yep.
What's been the standout for you in the training camp? Leaving Vernon Adams to the side because we're going to talk about him later. But rookies, who's the standout for you?
Well, Damian Alford, the first overall draft pick, has looked very good. Big guy from Utah, 6'6", a great catch radius. So I certainly liked what I've seen about him and his performance. Another rookie that's done quite well is the other first-round draft choice this year, Christian Fortin. He's an offensive lineman. He played a little of everywhere, but he has played primarily at guard in practice, and he can play center if they need to, but they've got some depth there, I think, and he's certainly working out well. And another gentleman who unfortunately suffered an injury in that game, Ryan Jones, a fullback / halfback. I don't know exactly what they were going to do with him, but they were going to find something for him to do. He's got a lot of skills. But, pardon me, he is on the sidelines likely for the season now with a broken leg suffered that game.
Oh, was it a broken leg?
No, you have surgery next week. Yeah.
Oh, that's got to suck. Ouch.
It does indeed, yeah.
No doubt. Now, veterans coming back, was there a lot of spaces up for grabs, or did they keep their core together somewhat?
They did a lot of surgery to the team in the offseason. Here's what happened. They either released guys, which they did, or didn't tender them contracts, or made a trade or something. So they've really changed the makeup of the team in many, many areas, especially on defense, where I envision 10 new starters, possibly, depending how it plays out. So they really changed that over. Offensively, some changes. They brought in a bunch of different receivers, different profile of receivers, much taller, much bigger. So, as far as veterans going, no, they did most of that work in the off season. I mean, obviously they may be a surprise in a guy with a year or two of experience, but the guys like James Vaughters and Mike Rose, they chose to move on without them, and there were many others like that as well.
Now, the big move, obviously, off-season was bringing in Mr. Vernon Adams. How has he looked during training
Brian, he
camp?
looks like what he is, an established CFL quarterback who's very productive, and him and Dominique Rhymes, who had a big season a couple of years ago in Vancouver, they look fine, and he's certainly as advertised. He's been very good, very elusive, and he's fitting right in, or so it would seem.
Nice. Now, obviously, when you look at someone like Vernon Adams, he's going to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder, I think, this year to kind of say, you let me go. What do you think?
Sure, why wouldn't he? I mean, look at his stats compared to Nathan Rourke's.
Yes.
There's no question. They traded the better quarterback away. That's their problem. But anyway, that's what the Lions did. And, just have to see. Can Rourke bounce back? I don't know. If that's their problem, they'll have to figure it out. But his stats were demonstrably better than Rourke's last year. So that's Stamps will take advantage of it.
Yes, I mean, the way BC handled that whole quarterback issue last year was just absolutely atrocious. So I'm glad to see Vernon Adams. I'm a huge Vernon Adams fan. Obviously, I'm a big BC Lions fan. Hated to see him go, but glad that he landed in Calgary. Knowing that I live in Calgary and I'll be able to see him at a few games is going to be awesome. What's your prediction? Like, where do you see the Stamps this season? Didn't have the best season last year.
No, didn't have a good season at all. They're in the basement, and that's one of the biggest reason why they made so many changes there. I would say they're probably 9-9. That's a realistic expectation, given the personnel they've brought in. Is that good enough for the playoffs? I don't know that if it is or not, but I think it's a reasonable record, and we'll keep them in contention anyway. I mean, we'll just see how the rest of it plays out. But I think the Stampeders are capable of 9-9 for sure.
No, I've heard rumors, and it was a lot of rumors last year with Dave Dickinson. How's his tenure? Is he solid, or do they need to come out swinging? Is that at least short?
Well, first of all, they gave him the vote of confidence in the offseason, but it's not an eternal candle to burn kind of thing. They'd better be much better this year and see where they are at the end of the season. But it's not eternal. I mean, I don't think another 5-12-1 season would be good for long-term employment. But, if they play much better, we'll have to decide between now and the end of the season. But certainly, of all the people and all the coaches in the league, he's probably under the gun the most to turn this around and get the Stampeders back into the playoffs where they haven't been. They weren't last year, and start winning some games, which they haven't done for quite a few years.
Now, getting ready for 2026. Obviously, Calgary has been awarded the Grey Cup in 2026. Have you seen much happening at the stadium already to prepare for that, or is that going to wait till next offseason?
A little more next offseason. They did hire an executive director of Grey Cup 2026, so she'll be at work. I haven't met her yet, but obviously there's stuff you have to do in the background to work. The stadium will be the focal point. There are a lot of other things to attend to as well. So, but no, physically right now, it's really not a factor.
But I did see we got a new turf at McMahon.
It's on the picture behind you there. There it is. Looks very, very nice. Badly needed. The old one had reached the end of its useful life, and it was time to change it out. It was hard. The Stampeders are the biggest user of it, but they're not the only users of it. And there's lots of other user groups on there. And, this climate is not very favorable for leaving something like that outdoors. So it bends and it's not in great shape, but it has a 10-year lifespan, and now it's reached the end of its lifespan, and they've got a new one in there. But yeah, it's looking very nice for sure.
Very good. Backup quarterback. Who are we looking at for the Stamps this year?
Well, I'm going to say it's going to be PJ Walker, a guy who has started 9 games in the NFL. He was here at the end of last year, just trying to get acclimatized to the CFL and what the CFL game is all about. And I think that worked. That was a really good idea. They did sign him when he in the offseason, and he's coming back, and he's staked a claim as the number 2 quarterback. I liked what I saw in the BC game. He did the bulk of the quarterbacking there. Some terrific throws, some great division, but also sometimes you could see that it's just not there yet, but he hasn't played in a while, and he's trying to play a brand new game as well. So it's he's just trying to get everything together. But there's certainly a lot of reason for optimism.
We have some questions coming in from our listeners. We have Ron Reinhold. He says, Stamps lost their best defensive player linebacker to the Lions. Have the Stamps figured out who's going to take that spot?
Well, right now, it would appear that Markel Lee, who was here a bit last year, has a fair bit of experience with the Raiders, both Oakland and Las Vegas. He looks like the guy that will fit in there. He's been doing most of the work with the number one unit and got a lot of experience. So that's the route I think they're going to go there, is put him in there. As I say, he had a little bit of time last year, so he got a little familiar with the league, and I think he can fit right in. Micah Alway was very good. Really enjoyed having Micah here, but you know what? Lions offered him a 2-year deal, and at his stage in the career, he's a little older, still got lots left, but I would take it too, and I get it.
Yeah, I mean, 2-year deals in the CFL just don't come around, especially for an older player. It's usually a 1 year.
Yeah, just the way it worked out, Stampeders saw it one way, and the Lions saw it another, and here we go.
There you go. Now, receiving core, where is it standing compared to last year?
Well, again, a lot of changes. They did go out and they wanted bigger receivers and a different profile. So they signed Dominique Grimes. I think that was terrific. Tevin Jones was signed as well. He had some time both Saskatchewan and Edmonton. Clark Barnes is a returning player, along with Jalen Philpott. And the most reliable Stampeder and their outstanding player from last year, Reggie Begelton, returns again. And he's as reliable as it comes and dependable. So if I had to pick their starting 5, that would be the group right now. And then behind them, you would have Damian Alford and some others. But those are some other things still to be determined.
Very, very cool. When do the Stamps play again? When's their next preseason?
Saturday.
It is Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday 7. I mean, just the way it works out, somebody gets the early game, and then you have to play in week 2. And this year it's the Stampeders. Next year maybe the Lions, maybe the Elks. I don't know, but that's just life.
It's just the way it goes. That's a short turnaround because they played
Yes,
Monday, play Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Especially this early. Oh.
Yep. Yeah. It's been noted. That's why they took almost no veterans to Victoria for that exact reason, that they just can't ask guys. It's really just too much, 2 games in 5 days like that.
Definitely. What did you think of that stadium in Victoria? What was that atmosphere like?
Well, it was nice. It was, certainly temporary looking, but it's obviously held events. It had some nice seating. It's in a nice neighborhood there. And, I thought it was pretty good for a preseason game. It certainly had a temporary look and lacked some of the amenities of a regular game, but I didn't mind, all things considered. They were backed up against it. I didn't mind it. Nice seating bowl, seats on both sides, a big seating area across the way. And it was nice. And I could see how the soccer team would like it. And I know it's a haven for Canadian rugby, sort of their home field. So yeah, it's a nice stadium, but as I say, it's not ready for a regular season game, and it was okay considering the circumstances. But no, I enjoyed it. Nice setting. The only thing I was shocked at, the weather was brutal. It was cold. The wind just came howling in and really caused some problems. I guess I have sort of a postcard version of Victoria where it's kind of gray. Maybe it drizzles a little bit, but not howling gales. That's what we had, but that's how it was. So that'd be the only negative. It was actually cold.
It was funny because CFL Plus had the BC Lions radio feed for the game, and you could hear Julio. He was just not happy. He was like, "It's supposed to be warm here."
Yeah, it was. But that's okay. But they got through it. But also, both teams are eventually going to play in something like that. So I guess better figure it out, right?
Now, you've been around the league for almost 3 decades, probably followed it for a lot longer. The hiring of the new commissioner, your thoughts?
Well, I think it was pretty good. A bit of a surprise, but it's obvious what the CFL Board of Governors' priority is. It's to extract a great and even better TV deal from TSN. I've met Stuart Johnson before. I don't really know him, but he clearly has a passion for the CFL, and that counts for something. Knows his way around some of the big heavy hitters in Toronto and all that in Southern Ontario. That's good as well. But if you're going to push the CFL, and he had to get it on the network, and had to bump up against some people in the network who were probably blasé towards the CFL. He got it done, and good for him. He's coming in at a pretty good time. I would say that Randy Ambrosie left him a pretty good league. I thought Ambrosie delivered more positives than negatives, and step in and away you go.
Nice. You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth. I feel the same way. It was a surprise when they announced it, but once you look at it, you're like, you know what? It's probably the right timing for someone like him to take over. Yeah,
and he does have Randy Ambrosie obviously had a great feel for the actual game. I mean, obviously played in the league 8 years, but Stuart Johnson may not have a feel for the game, but he knows people that do. So, if there's any on-field things in that. So, no, I think he'll be fine. He was a very outgoing, very personable guy, and we'll see what he does. And like I say, there aren't any chaotic situations among the 9 franchises in the league. So from that viewpoint, he takes it over, I think, in pretty good shape.
Nice. Now, speaking of the 9 franchises, it's really cool to start seeing different franchises doing different things. You got BC Lions doing their home opener concert. We now have the Stampeders doing something on, is it July 4th? Is that?
3rd.
July 3rd. They're bringing in, who is it?
Well, it's Brett Michaels, but even, I guess he's a big deal or something, they tell me. But what's really a big deal is matching it up with the Stampede, which, if you live in Calgary, it just takes over everything. You got 2 choices during the Stampede. You can ignore it and get away from it and, just hide from it, or you can embrace it and work with it. They're going to work with it. So I think it's pretty good. It's the game that they've got is the Stampede Bowl, which is actually going to be a game. The Stampede is going to be involved in it too, with getting it out in all the social media channels. And the Stampede runs the city at that time of year. Let's not kid anybody.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's really good. It's a good idea, good novel idea. Let's see how it plays out. It's unique because sometimes you got to kind of stretch for something to make a game particularly unique, and good for them, good for the Stampede, good for the Stampeders.
And I'm glad they did it. They are doing it with the Stampede, and I think they picked a great game bringing Winnipeg in, because Winnipeg usually is a good crowd. It's a better draw. Obviously, the Riders are probably the biggest draw. At least they used to be. I don't know. Is that still the case?
Yeah, because the crowds for Labor Day in Edmonton, because Edmonton hasn't been particularly compelling the last few years, not as good.
Yeah, I can remember the Labor Day Classic. You had to get your tickets early, or you weren't getting a ticket.
Well, that's because a lot of people from Edmonton came down, and that's not been the case lately. And I get it; they just haven't been that exciting. So
let's hope
But back to it. No, it'll be really good. The Stampede is going to put their muscle behind it, and then when they do, good things will happen.
Awesome, sir. Thank you. Jake, do you have any questions? Sorry, I kind of took over there.
No, it's totally fine. My voice is really on the fritz, so I appreciate it. I just appreciate the time jumping on to chat with us, Mark.
Yeah, no, good. It's the season is imminent. We're really looking forward to it. And, in the case of the Stampeders, they've got to push up the standings, and we'll see how they do it. It's always fun to be around, and look forward to the new season.
Awesome. Before I let you go, Mr. Rod Peterson's in the chat, and he's given a wave for a good friend of mine, and I know a friend of yours as well.
There you go. Yeah, good to hear from him. I do see the signs in the stream there, so that's very good. So glad to hear you.
Very good, Mark. Thank you so much. I appreciate your taking the time on a Thursday evening to jump in with us. Much appreciated.
Yeah, always fun to talk, and thanks for having me.
We'll talk again.
Thanks, Mark.
Oh, same crew on 770. Yes.
Yes, same crew. Same crew for 29 years.
Pretty close. Yep, there you go.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mark Stevens of QR77. That's what they call themselves now, isn't it? QR77. What a great guest. So articulate when it comes to the game.
Yeah.
Just love hearing people like that on our show.
And honestly, like it's so ingrained to me just to listen when he's talking, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like and it was because I was quieter, because I'm trying to save my voice for the last half of the show here, or a little bit of the show anyways, but I forgot we were doing the show and he wasn't just on the radio talking about the game that was happening.
Well, how many times did we go to games when you were a kid And on the way home, we always listen to 770
Even
for
still,
the
when
post-game show, right?
even still, most of the time when I'm driving home from a game, I'm listening to 770. Like,
Yes. It's just got that iconic voice. There's people in the industry, a Rod Peterson, a Shorthouse, I could go on and on, that have that iconic voice where you hear them and you just instantly know who they are.
and you know what you're talking about, what they're going to be talking about.
Yes, right?
Right? Like you hear that voice and you're like, oh, where Mark Steven is talking, we're talking CFL, and we're talking Stampeders.
Yes. When Shorthouse did his thing, it was, we knew he was talking Vancouver, right?
Yep.
It's cool. I just get a kick that they take the time to come on our show. It's so cool. And obviously super excited about the season upcoming. As you can see, I have a new, but there's more coming. It's my shrine to Louis.
Are you going to get little candles and?
Well, I'm waiting for.
Are you
I'm waiting to put up my jersey, and then I might have candles underneath with music playing.
Are you also going to frame the restraining order, or
no? The restraining order. There's a time limit on those, so it's passed.
I don't think so. I think he just constantly renews it.
No, Rod is my witness. I didn't hump his leg.
Well, that's always a good thing, I guess. Did you want to talk about? I ended up missing most of the BC Lions game. I was at work, unfortunately.
I didn't. I watched the whole thing. You know what I want to talk about? And I wanted to ask Mark, and I should have made a note, and I forgot. I made notes about just the stamp stuff. The new kicker, I can't think of his name, the new punter for BC Lions. Holy samoli. Julio mentioned him last week on our show, and so I was kind of anticipating it. But that kid can kick a ball.
However, from what I was reading, and I was just reading through Reddit and Twitter, is that it was inconsistent. He wasn't consistently booting the ball. But when he got a piece of it,
whoever said that wasn't watching the game.
Okay, I was just
like he was kicking the out of the ball. Like
okay.
That pig was squealing.
That's good.
Yes.
I was shocked to see that Rourke played in the first.
He took maybe one series. That was it.
I get it. Like it's in his home.
It's his hometown.
Yeah, where he was born.
Where he was born.
Well, he was born in Victoria, not Langford.
Yeah, but it's right beside each other.
Yeah.
It's like Airdrie, Calgary kind of idea. He didn't throw the. I don't think he threw the ball, and I kept going. Why isn't he throwing the ball? Maybe he threw it once, twice, not much in that first series.
And I get that's probably the only reason why he played was because it was a marquee game at a unique place.
Yeah, and he asked to.
Yeah, right? Which again makes sense. It's just one of those things you don't normally see your starting quarterback play even one series in the first preseason game.
And I normally don't disagree with a guest, especially someone who has over 30 years experience. And I'm sorry, the Lions did not trade away the best quarterback. Come on. Vernon Adams is good, but he's not a Nathan Rourke.
Based off of stats over the last 3 years, yeah, technically. You're again, you got to remember, and I'm going off of purely stats and taking off the BC Homer hat. You traded for a guy who had one phenomenal season and then has sat on the bench for 3 years.
Well, yeah. So take his one phenomenal season and take VA's most phenomenal season, and I think Rourke has better stats. I'm just going to say. Oh my goodness, I'm
going to look this up here because
I know you are, and I'm probably going to eat my words. And damn it, I thought you were sick. You're not supposed to be on the ball yet.
I'm not on the ball. I'm just,
No, but I thought, yeah, the Lions lost that game. It's a preseason game. The score really doesn't mean a whole lot. Both teams are playing their second strings. I think Lions had more of their first strings on than obviously the Stamps did. As Mark was saying, they left most of their players back home just because they're playing again on Saturday here. So, from what I saw, I'm kind of excited to see where the Lions go this year. I saw a lot of good stuff.
I think and we really haven't done a deep dive into the season. And we kind of have to, I know we talked about it. We probably should do that next week. Deep dive
the season's starting here real quick, isn't it?
Season starts in 2 weeks, the 7th. The Calgary Stampeders' first game is the 7th. So I'm assuming that means the first game of the season is on the 5th in 2 weeks. I don't know if they're doing any Thursday night games for the.
Well, Hamilton starts. Hamilton at Ticats at home. At Calgary. Yeah, so they start it on next Saturday. 2 weeks.
2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah, 2 Saturdays from now.
Is the first game not on the 6th?
No game on the 6th.
Oh, interesting. I always would assume that they would start on the.
Yeah, no, Friday. It's funny because they've got 2 games on the Saturday, one at 5, one at 8, so it's a doubleheader. And then the following Thursday, they've got BC at Winnipeg, which is the very, very first game for BC. And then again, Saturday, they play again Calgary at Toronto at 2 p.m. So they're the Saturday team.
No, Ottawa, Saskatchewan, Thursday, June 5th.
I don't have that game on my schedule.
I have it here, Thursday, June 5th, because then you would only have 2 games that week if you only had the 2 Saturday games. The 5th is Ottawa and Saskatchewan. The Friday is Toronto, Montreal, and then
you know what's funny, because I have all the games listed on my calendar
except for those
that
2.
One didn't pull up.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm on the CFL website, so
yeah, we can trust that.
And just for clarity, 2023. So the year after Rourke left.
Yeah.
Vernon Adams played 8 more games. 80, almost 80 more completions on a whole bunch more attempts, and 1,400 more yards
in 8 more games.
Yeah,
come on. Rourke was hurt that season. That he did phenomenal. You watch. Rourke is going to be an effing standout superstar, MVP. He's going to win every award there is.
Look,
he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year award.
Well, so I understand you're very high on this kid, and I am too. But you also 2 years ago on this podcast were saying that there's no chance that he's going to be stuck on a practice roster, that he'll break through in the NFL.
Actually, my words were, there's no chance in hell Rourke will ever come back to the CFL. I believe were my words. If you're going to quote me correctly.
Well, I didn't have time to pull up the transcripts. I'm sorry.
Super excited about the season getting started. Lots of cool things. I don't think, and like Mark was saying, there isn't any team that's in dire straits. We got a new owner up in Edmonton. I'm looking for big things up there. I think Winnipeg's going to have a down season. I think they didn't rebuild the way they should have, in my opinion, but we'll see.
We've been saying that for the last 2 years, though.
Huh?
We've been saying that for the last 2 years.
And
last year it looked that way, and then they were able to turn it around. So,
and they're unfortunately, and I wanted to bring this up, their quarterback has been suspended for 1 game, which will be the BC Lions game, which really sucks. I think it's dumb. I think it's one of those rules in the CFL. They changed it because of this. And what happened, folks, was they called him to be tested. It was Grey Cup weekend or Super Bowl weekend. They called him. He was kind of busy. He lives in the States. Super Bowl's like the biggest thing ever for football fans in the States. It's insane. He didn't get the call. He didn't get the email. So why wouldn't they call his team and have his team get a hold of him and say, yo, you need to go for a... It's ridiculous. If I get a phone number, if I get a call from a number I don't know and it's Grey Cup, I'm not picking it up.
No, but they leave a voicemail and they say, hey, Kevin, it's the RV people and we need to make sure that your license is up and we need you to renew it. It's up tomorrow morning. You need to give us a call back.
But
Are you not at your earliest convenience looking at that and saying, "Oh shit, I need to do that"?
No, because it's Grey Cup. I'm hammered.
So then you email them back and say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, it's not a great time right now. I'll call you tomorrow."
No, what they would have done is Amvik would have called the dealership and said, "Hey, one of your employees, Kevin Hughes, needs to have their..." And it's happened when I was selling cars. I was on holidays. They called. I didn't answer the phone. My phone was off. They called the dealership. The dealership looked after it. So going forward, that's the way it's going to happen now.
But you still have to have the onus on yourself. Like
Oh crap.
If a UFC fighter just doesn't answer, and it's happened many times, they're suspended until they pass a clean piss test.
But it's not even like he passed. He took the test. He passed the test. He called them within days, took the test, but he didn't call them within 48 hours, which is the rule.
But so is the claim is he didn't know the rule, or
no? His claim was he didn't look at his phone for 2 days.
Okay,
it was Super Bowl weekend.
Okay,
come on.
Or it took 72 hours to pump you full of IV fluids and get whatever's out of your system.
That is innuendo, and we will not have that on this show.
I will have innuendo on my show. But no, like, in all honesty, like, okay, cool. You claim I didn't look at my phone for 48 hours plus. Okay, I don't believe that to begin with for a multitude of reasons in this day and age.
So you've never gone 48 hours without looking at your phone?
I don't think so.
Returning a message?
That is two very different things.
Careful here.
Two very different things.
So he saw it and he went, I'll deal with that Monday. It was Friday.
So it was Super Bowl Friday. It wasn't even Super Bowl Sunday?
Whatever. I don't know what day it was. It was Super Bowl weekend.
Oh.
Come on.
You're
lucky you're not sitting beside me. I'd bitch slap you all over the place.
So you're literally saying it's okay for people just to be like, oh, yeah, we'll get to that. It's fine. There's no punishment for not following the rules.
Saying, no, you just stop. What I'm saying is they should have put a little more effort into contacting him. If it was that important. I'm just pissed because I wanted him to play the first game against the BC Lions so I could bug the fucking Smurf Mafia. Because now, when we beat them, it'll be, our quarterback went to now.
I hope he's being drug tested twice as much as other players.
You think it was because he might have had drugs in him?
I'm saying that there's two possibilities. One, he didn't look at his phone for 48 hours. Or two, there's reason to believe that CFL players in the past, who might I remind you that when there's a gentleman named Ricky Williams who got suspended for an entire season from the NFL, came up to play in the CFL because of steroids, because of performance-enhancing drugs. And you know what the CFL said? Come on up, bud. We got no problems with that.
And what happened? He fell flat in his face.
I mean, he drew a lot of money for Toronto.
Oh, he did. Huge money.
Right?
Huge.
Like, in all reality, that's what it was about.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I don't know. Seems sketchy to me.
I think you're drunk. Carry on. I'm busy over here.
Anything else in the world of CFL?
In the world of CFL?
That we want to talk about today?
Oh. No, just we do have to do a deep dive into the schedule next week.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it was, Ron. You're right. It was due to marijuana that Ricky Williams was suspended from the NFL. And then he came up here and we're like, it's okay, we're stoners up here. Come on up.
On February 20th, the NFL announced that Williams had violated the NFL drug policy for the 4th time.
Yeah.
His mother reportedly said she did not think it was another marijuana violation.
Oh, but it was.
Well, if it's not a marijuana violation, it's cocaine or performance-enhancing drugs. One of the two.
One of the two.
Anything else in the world of CFL that we want to talk about today?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing what's up.
All right. Well, let's talk about, before my voice completely cracks and I start coughing, because I know the old man knows little to nothing about this.
What?
Abbotsford Canucks win in overtime last night, pulling ahead in the series 2-1, meaning they are going to go on the road. They're going to go on the road as the first 3 games are played in Abbotsford. They're going to go on the road, needing to only win one of the 2 games. It's still a best of 5 series at this point in the AHL playoffs. I was able to actually find a way to watch the games, completely illegally, of course, but I love Flow Sports and the way they have everything designed. But please just hire play-by-play guys for like playoffs. I get that there's probably a huge fee to do it, but to pick up a radio broadcast.
Oh, really?
To watch with a radio broadcast, it just feels so Bush League. And I get the AHL is Bush League. Like, that is the definition of what AHL is. But it's just like, it takes away from the experience of watching a playoff game.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And not that the play-by-play guys on the radio were bad. It's just a different place calling style when you're calling for TV.
Yeah, of course. Of course, right?
I think that's all I want to talk about with that. I should have written down notes. My brain is just
Good.
foggy. Playoff updates. Oh, did we lose the old man? He appears to be foggy. Okay, well, tell you what, old man, you maybe disconnect and come back. He has been dealing with a lot of technical difficulties over the last few days. I'm just going to put him in the timeout room until I see him moving again. I'm just going to look through the chat here and see what everyone's talking about. Excellent guest night. Yes, Zach, we're very happy to have Mark Steven on the show. Again, like we talked about, just the ultimate pro, the ultimate professional. Hello, Rod Peterson. Thank you for checking out the show. Is the old man back? Can you give me a thumbs up to let me know he's back and ready to go? No, looks like he's still frozen. Ron Reinhold, the only time I've done that is temporarily lost my phone, but I agree, call the agent at any time. I agree, 100% that you should be able to call the agent and get them to come in and do the drug test. To me, that's what seems so sketchy about it, and I don't know if they were allowed to call the agent or what ended up happening, but is the old man back? Does not look like it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about, in a very dull tone, because the old man's not here to rile me up. We were correct in 2 of our guesses. We had guessed that the Florida Panthers would win against the Leafs, and in a very fun Game 7, fun for, anyone not cheering for the Leafs, the Florida Panthers demolished the Leafs. And welcome back. Can you hear me?
I'm back. Yeah,
You're
I can
back.
hear you now.
You're back. I'm
back.
Perfect. Welcome back. I was just talking about how we, in fact, were right on 2 of our 4 guesses for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes, we went 2 for 2.
Florida winning in spectacular fashion in Game 7.
Yes.
And are now just taking it to the Canes. I'm just going to pull up the score here because I took it down.
It was 4-0 last time I looked.
5-0 with 3 minutes to go.
5-0. That is insane.
Yes.
I said it. I said Florida and 4 in this one.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Edmonton? Dallas?
Man, Dallas just came out on fire in that third period. I don't know what adjustments they made, but oh boy, they need to keep making those adjustments.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? Are we going Dallas in 6? Edmonton in 6? I say it's going to go 6. I'm going back and forth who in 6.
I think, honestly, I could see this one going 7.
Okay.
This game, like, the biggest thing is that Dallas has Ottinger, and Otter is just one of the supreme goaltenders. And
Edmonton doesn't have a goaltender.
Well, no, I've talked about this before. Edmonton has 2 very mid goaltenders.
Yes.
And when they're playing, both of them are playing well, they can get you passable goaltending for an NHL series.
Yeah.
But Skinner did not play well. Again. What's his name? Pickard. I think he's healthy now.
Is he?
I believe so. I believe, from my understanding, he's healthy and is ready to go. So you should see him in Game 2, in my opinion, because whatever adjustment that the Stars made going into the third period, whether it was something they saw on film, like one of their coaches saw on film, or something that they just tweaked in their strategy, it worked. And I don't think they're going to get away from that.
Yes.
I think it's going to be Dallas in 7.
Okay, I'm going to, just to be different, I'm going to say, I can't do it. It hurts coming out. It's like there's razor blades in my throat, but I'm going to call Edmonton in 6.
Yeah.
Can't go back now. It's out there in the universe.
Out there in the universe now. And I mean, if I want to be really mean, I could start.
I feel like I just puked into my throat.
That's always good.
I broke Jake.
God. Don't get sick, folks. It's not fun. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Brain went blank.
That's not unusual.
Sorry, going back to the CFL, I wanted to talking about picks. In the link below, and I'm going to also tweet this out as well, we have opened up CFL Fantasy League for the Hughes Sports Podcast.
Oh.
Haven't finalized exactly what we're going to do. We were in the process of talking about it and then got busy with life. We haven't finalized anything.
I did.
You made your input well known. That doesn't mean we've designed anything or have anything ready to go to talk about. We're in the process of determining, but there will be some sort of prize for whoever finishes in first place. If you are interested, I will get you that link. Check for it on our Twitter, Facebook,
hint.
Everything there. We're gonna give away Rod Peterson merch.
No, we're not going to give away Rod Peterson merch. We're going to give away a HSP hat or maybe a jersey, a hoodie. We're not sure.
Yeah, we're still working out all the kinks in the back end.
Where did you put that link?
I've not shared it out yet. I have to go find it through our messages.
Oh, okay. I didn't see a link in our messages. I don't remember seeing a link.
That's how the See, so I get like how old folks might maybe miss a message and not know how to respond for 48 plus hours.
See?
That maybe.
Are we doing Pick'em? Is that what we're going to do?
CFL Fantasy, not Pick'em.
Oh, fantasy. Okay. Oh,
yeah. So you pick your players per week, and then you can double down, make a captain, and basically double down on one player, or special teams, or I think special teams and defense is one, or defense. I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, every week you pick those, and then you get fantasy points based off of how well they do.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
But the last update is kind of something that I wanted to talk about more, but there's so much Canucks news and so much CFL and BC Lions news. What we lovingly call the Losers Cup. Denmark has knocked out Canada in the Losers Cup, the world champions, the world championship. Nikolai Ehlers scores with last-second comeback to knock the Canadians out of the tournament in the semifinal.
Rod Peterson said it the best. When the players start taking this tournament seriously, I'll start taking it seriously.
When who starts taking it seriously? Sorry?
The players.
I think some players take it serious.
Yeah, some. The key is some.
I think, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I think this win for Denmark could do a lot for hockey for the Danes. Because that's a huge thing to knock off a powerhouse.
Oh,
like you've got your top four was top five teams when Russia was invited to these events.
Yes.
Any of these smaller European nations knock them out, that's huge for them.
Yeah, it's obviously a shocker whenever Canada gets knocked out of a hockey tournament. But I have no vested interest or anything. I got a question for you before we continue. Megabytes are smaller than gigabytes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have to worry. Carry on.
Gig.
Have I mentioned how much I hate TELUS?
You haven't. You haven't here, but you might have mentioned it a couple times before.
I got a hammer. I'm going to take it to their heads.
All right.
Charlie's back.
Hello, Charlie.
Charlie, where the heck have you been, buddy? I get worried when you don't check in, bud. You're an old guy like me. Carry on.
I have nothing else.
No, me neither. It's obviously for our sports, hockey and the CFL.
No. For Canucks hockey, and the CFL.
It's obviously winding down with the NHL down to 4 teams. I don't have any skin in the games, so I'm watching the games when I can. I'm not going out of my way to watch games.
Yeah, I haven't been feeling well. Like last night watched the game because I had nothing else to do. I was sick and not feeling well, so I curled up in bed at 6:00 and literally watched the game, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Sick days are the best.
No, it's been it's going to start picking up now, obviously, in the next couple of weeks with the CFL. Obviously, we're huge BC Lions fans, but we cover the CFL as a whole, and we'll break down every game. And I'm still in the works of trying to get personnel from each team, media personnel, I should say that properly, and talk about the training camps, and it's going to go into the beginning of the season, but it'll be fun. It'll be a challenge to see if we can get all 9 teams in the next 10 weeks or 12 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's anything else you have to talk about,
buddy.
My voice was dead 43 minutes ago. So
there you go. Well, you should not argue with the old man when you know he's right.
I was right earlier today. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you were never right.
Always right. But folks, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 116 of the Hughes Sports Podcast. The best thing you can do, other than jumping in and commenting live and conversing with us and letting us know how much you love the guests or bringing things up that you want us to talk about, is sharing this with your friends, family, other sports-related individuals. Coworkers. We are going to be posting a lot of more content on TikTok.
Yes.
As we're building up here, we want to try to build the show into something that, especially with the breakdown of the CFL seasons or the CFL games, kind of want to turn that into our bread and butter, kind of expand our show with the expanding coverage of the CFL. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're watching right now. Share with a friend. Follow us on all socials, including TikTok, X, Blue Skies, Facebook. And until next week, have yourselves a wonderful one. Mwah. Goodbye. Let's try that again. Good.